when AA began and Bill Wilson and the founding fathers of AA and the founding women of AA, these were gutter drunks, right? These weren't like frat boys having fun on the weekend. These were gutter drunks. These were the worst of the worst.
What does gutter drunk look like, just to paint a picture for people?
I mean, just the guy in the street who's pissing on himself in Venice Boulevard and he's just wasted and he's pushing the cart around and he's shit on himself. He's just the worst kind of drunk.
All day,
and he's just drinking bottles every day. It's just like these are the kind of drunks that were in it in the early days. So they took AA, in my opinion, because there's no real opinion in the program, it was a spiritual program built for gutter drunks. So simple. It's the simplest tools for spirituality that I think have ever been created. Like, believe in God, turn your will and life over to him, take a personal inventory, make some amends, take a daily reprise, have a reflection at the end of the day to see if you harmed anybody or did anything crazy. And if you did, make an amends, keep your side of the street clean, and then go find somebody else to help. That's the program.
Right. It's the sponsor piece, obviously, at the end.
It's like, go help somebody. Right. Which we all know, we've all helped people. Right. You help hundreds of thousands of people. Like, who wins in that game? You win. Big time. Big time you win, because helping people is the greatest gift we could ever do for ourselves. And some people who don't do that or don't know that are missing out at one of the greatest pieces of life that there is. When you watch somebody go from like I've seen people come in the program that were literally pushing carts that we were just shepherding into the back, because if you come into a room, a 12-step room, there's no rules. You can be drunk. We don't care. We just put you in the back and say, shh, keep it down. Right. Keep talking to yourself, but just keep it down a little bit. Just whisper to yourself, okay. You want a coffee? Okay, yeah, I want a coffee. And like years later, you come around, you look at, and then like 10 years go by and you see that same guy and you're like, Bob, the cart guy? Bob, is that you? You're in a suit. He's like, yeah. I go, what are you doing? I'm good. What are you doing these days? I just passed the bar. Wow. And you're like, you just passed the fucking bar, and you start crying because you're just like, this guy was a fucking hobo on the fucking street pissing on everybody a few years ago, and now he's a fucking lawyer. Don't tell me anything's not possible. Fuck these people that complain about their problems. It's like, we can do anything we want to do if you just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, it's amazing getting to witness that up front like that. Were you a sponsor then to others afterwards?
I have through the years sponsored people. Currently I'm not, but I have over the years.
What was that experience like, being a sponsor afterwards?
It's amazing. Like, you get to see people's life change. You get to see people that were living in their cars that now like have motorcycle shops in New York and have families and things. Like, you get to see, it's amazing. You hear those stories. It's like, the right attention on the wrong person can be life-changing, right? We've all had that experience where, like, I was 5 and that one teacher did that one thing and it changed my life. It changed my trajectory, right? So you got to remember, like, most people that are coming in, and that's the other thing that people forget, is like, everybody in those rooms are fucking borderline scumbag dirtbags that are going to steal your car. Right. Or doing white collar crimes, or like very few people are like spiritually evolved, highly
clean as could be.
So you're in a room with a bunch of misfits that are all pretty much make the wrong mistake every time they do. A little shifty. So you get in there and you start and that's the thing. You start giving some people some tools. Like, I remember working with some guys that like didn't know they were supposed to brush their teeth every day. Wow. And you're like, wait, you don't even have that life skill, right? You're like, so how are you gonna, okay, let's take a couple steps back. Yeah. And then you just got to love them, right? And teach them and show them that it's okay. And there's no shame in that.
Is there an element of, as a sponsor, seeing something in that person you're sponsoring that they don't yet see in themselves, or that hasn't been fostered properly, or that has been suppressed, and then kind of helping to,
Yeah, but the truth is they helped me more than I helped them. Right? The truth is that's the magic. That's what Freud couldn't figure out. Because Freud and Bill Wilson were friends, and Freud was like, there's no hope for these people. This category of people, there's no hope for them.
And Bill disagreed.
Well, what Bill didn't know, but what Bill figured out is when he took one alcoholic and took another alcoholic, and they could talk to each other, and they could have a common shared experience, and they could support each other in a way that they both understood, as opposed to a screaming wife or a yelling pastor, because that's what you would get, or you get Freud just yelling at you, telling you not to drink. What's wrong with you? Just don't pick up the drink, right? But the magic was one alcoholic working with another alcoholic, right? And what people don't realize is that in the early days of the program, meetings were designed to attract newcomers, to keep the old timers sober. It was like this weird selfish thing. It was like, it wasn't about the community or the group, or it was like, go find more guys because we don't want to drink.
Right.
Go out and get some more guys. Go call the church and ask the pastor, who should we go to their house and talk to them tonight? Because we need to keep talking to some new people because I don't want to get drunk anymore. To the point where Rockefeller, all of his friends got sober that were just degenerates, that he's like hosted dinner in New York and at the Plaza Hotel for like Bill Wilson and it was like, he toasted it as the greatest invention of the 20th century.
Wow.
Right? It was like, yeah. But he also told Bill Wilson, you can't make it about profit, can't make it about money. Yeah. The greatest thing, Rockefeller was the greatest influence on the program there ever was because he made Bill Wilson not make it about money.
If what you've heard on Flow Research Collective Radio has been helpful, please consider doing us a solid and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Reviews help us connect to a wider audience so we can get these peak performance principles out to more people.